Thanks for joining us for the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter, Tasia Floissac. Coming up, millions invested in the enhancement of the island's water systems. Rehabilitation work is ongoing at the Magua Road in Bellevue Chopin, and health officials warn of new threat of mosquito-borne Zika virus. Details of our headline stories and more after this.
You're watching GIS.
Thanks for staying with us. The Dominica Water and Sewage Company, DOWASCO, has increased the water storage capacity of Water Area 1 by over 850,000 gallons in the last 3 years. This was confirmed by the Honorable Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie. Honorable Austrie told reporters on Wednesday that over $20 million is being spent to upgrade the water network.
Now, Water Area 1 is probably one of the most important water systems in the country, since it not only stretches from Miro to Castle Comfort, but it also serves some of our major institutions like the hospital, a number of high schools, the capital city of Roseau, and you can well imagine the volume of water that will be required on a daily basis to service this wide area. And so we realized that we had a few difficulties, and one of those difficulties was the issue of storage. That in terms of say bad weather, hurricane season, we normally found that we had a water supply that would last us maybe 2 to 3 days. And so we realized that we had to increase the storage capacity. And that was one of the considerations behind the building of the Monbrose tank, which holds an additional 500 gallons of water. And that was constructed at a cost of $4 million. We also have this new tank now, which has a capacity of 250,000 gallons.
General Manager of DOWASCO, Bernard Etinoff, provided the media with further details of the upgrade of Water Area 1.
The Water Area 1 project upgrade started with a consultancy to determine exactly what needs to be done to upgrade Water Area 1. That study was conducted by Morrison and Hirschfield, a Canadian firm. It was funded by a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank as well, of just over $1 million. And that study determine exactly what we needed to do. Increase storage capacity, increase treatment facilities, the leak detection and management program, moving up the intake, and so forth. Hence, what we did was to take it in phases. So the first phase was after the study was the construction of the increased storage capacities. 250,000 gallons here, 100,000 gallons in Massac, and 500,000 gallons on Monbrose, 850,000 gallons increase. This storage tank we see here was completed just about a year ago and has been in use for just under 1 year now. And I must tell you, serving very, very well all the communities, and people can testify to that. There's minimal water outages when it rains, even for continuous periods of time.
In more news, the Ministry of Health and Environment notifies the public of the threat of an emerging mosquito-borne viral disease named Zika, which is new to the Americas and presently threatening to spread to the Caribbean. The Zika virus is transmitted by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito, the same mosquito that transmits chikungunya and dengue. The Zika virus symptoms are similar to those of dengue and chikungunya and include fever, joint and muscle pain, conjunctivitis or red eyes, headache, weakness, rash, swelling of the lower limbs and to a lesser extent vomiting, diarrhea or abdominal pain. The Ministry of Health and Environment urges members of the public to do their part to prevent mosquito breeding and take personal responsibility to help reduce any possibility of the introduction of the Zika virus to the island. There is no specific vaccine or treatment for the virus. The ministry further advises the public to take precautionary measures by inspecting their homes and yards weekly in order to identify and eliminate potential mosquito breeding sites indoors and outdoors. The National Public Health Response and Surveillance Team is on high alert and has begun reviewing and refining management strategies and guidelines which will shape the ministry's response in the event of the disease surfacing in Dominica. National Pest and Termites Control, the agency engaged by the government to perform vector control services around the island, has already begun placing alto seed, a larvicide, in the utility ducts in Roseau. Fogging will begin on Tuesday, May 26 at 4:30 a.m. and will continue on Wednesday and Thursday in the Roseau Health District. Fogging activities will be scheduled within other areas of high Aedes aegypti mosquito infestation on the island. Also this news time, government is addressing road networks in the Bellevue Chopin community, more specifically the Magua Main Road. GIS News visited the site on Monday with the parliamentary representative for the Pidit-Savan constituency, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Daru, to bring you details on the commencement of that project. Here's a special report. Motorists and pedestrians of the Magua Road in Bellevue Chopin will soon be able to traverse this route without difficulty. In this scenic community, widely known for its rich vegetation, the Magua Main Road is the only road passing through Bellevue Chopin, thus significant for the sustenance of livelihoods in that area. The Dominica Labour Party government has also seen the importance of addressing this road, currently in a deplorable condition. GIS News went on site with parliamentary representative for the area, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Daru, on Thursday, May 22, 2015.
The road has been in a deplorable condition for quite a while. Certain parts of it are quite almost impassable. And of course, as a PAL rep, I was under some tremendous pressure. To be candid and to be open, under tremendous pressure to at least have some remedial works done on the road rather. However, after careful consideration, and also the opinions and from the expert engineers and even the opinion of the villagers, we felt that the road really is past repair, beyond repair. And what we plan on doing is actually redoing doing the road all over.
We got to see firsthand the progress of the roadworks, which began on Monday, May 18th. With 14 years of experience and a community man at that, Agrippa Moranci was best suited as contractor for the project.
I'm very happy to see us start because we've been waiting for that road for a long time. We started with the excavation work on Monday, and our intention is to try to complete the 450 feet of road within 2 weeks, hopefully, right, if good weather, if the weather permits. Right now we're presently in the formwork. We're doing the formworks and getting the work prepared for concreting. So by the end of the day we should have about 120 feet pavement.
Honorable Dr. Daru provided further insight into funding for this $70,000 road project.
The Minister of Finance, and I really want to say thanks to him, because we know that we are approaching the financial year end and the budget time, and when financial resources are really low and even sometimes almost non-existent for such projects. But he being the Minister of Finance, did what he had to do to make a first allocation of $70,000 available to the community, to the Bellevue Chopin Village Council to implement, at least start the road project. So the idea is that we're going to start from the main road, the main Grand Bay to Roseau Road, Grand Bay to Luce Road, and do as much as the 70,000 can possibly do. And of course do some little touch-up areas, temporary, which hopefully shouldn't last more than a couple of months until financial year end. We are hopefully that some new resources will be injected to continue the project.
Currently, 9 residents of that constituency are gainfully employed on the project. Honorable Dr. Daru says government recognizes the importance of constituents playing an active role in community development.
As the parliamentary representative, I've been in this for like the past 5 years. I always try to make an effort to channel the funds, first of all, for the village council, and to, of course, give them, advise them as to, to try to see if they could employ somebody from the area as a contractor, and of course speak to the contractor myself as much as I can to see how possible it is that he employ people from the village, because this ends up being a win-win-win situation for all concerned. The village council, because they would have been elected to represent the people, so they're seen as being playing an active role in whatever development is taking part in their respective community. Myself as the PAL rep would also get my kudos for getting the financing, making the financing available to them through the efforts for the Ministry of Finance, and also the villages short term and sometimes medium term, depending on the side of project employment for the young people of the community.
Honorable Daru also took the opportunity to thank residents for their notable patience. The Honorable Minister, who is also a qualified medical doctor, says there is an undeniable connection between proper road networks and good healthcare services.
The World Health Organization have shown that the world in particular, and Dominica an exception, that we have a very aging population, and the advent of chronic non-communicable diseases, and more and more people will be requiring emergency services. So yes, that's very important. In fact, a proper road network through villages and within the communities is very important for a number of things, for the transport of goods, services, people, and by no means, and no less, also medical services, that the ambulance has to be able to access people's homes and stuff, in cases of emergencies.
For constituents like Janet Albert, government's move to address the condition of the Magua Road is simply admirable.
This road it was in a bad state for the past years, I will have to say. But I have to say, thanks God that it is on the right track now. So far, so good. And I am very pleased, very happy about it. I want to thank the government of Dominica. I want to thank my PAL rep for at least assisting us in it. And I know maybe the money might not do all what we want to do, but at least the more dangerous places will be all right, will be fixed that we can use. I use it every day, every morning, every night. And the whole villagers use the same road. That is the only main road to the village. It's connect one area to the other. It is very, very, very important to us, and then we would love to see it complete. But if we can get at least the worst condition fixed, we'll appreciate it. And I'm appreciating it very much.
This is yet another clear demonstration of government's commitment to improving the island's infrastructure. I'm Tasia Floissac reporting for GIS News.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Welcome back. The Discover Dominica Authority is only 2 days away from hosting one of its most anticipated events, the 6th Annual Jazz and Creole Festival. According to CEO and Director of Tourism of the Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, a significant part of the Jazz and Creole experience is the hosting of a master class in which the musicians on island for Jazz and Creole get an opportunity to impart their knowledge to local students and musicians.
On Saturday morning from noon to 12, we will have one in the series of master classes, because Dr. Esprit will also talk about some of the classes that are being done by the group from the university. But Arturo Tapin will be conducting a master class from 10 a.m. until noon. That will be done at Alliance Francaise, and the call is going out not only to some high school musicians and student musicians, but also to professional musicians. So that's another in the series of things that we do as part of the Jazz and Creole. We have done this for a number of years, and this year is no exception. It's following on the heels of a very successful master class that was done by our own Cameron Peer in December when he came here, where we had upwards of 40 professional musicians attending. So we certainly hope that we have just as many people at this master class.
featured musicians the Afro-Cuban Brazilian band Masquinada arrived in Dominica last week. Correspondent to the band Dr. Shyla Esprit says that a main reason for the band's visit to Dominica was an opportunity to facilitate a musical cultural exchange.
The initiative was really part of an academic exchange, and I have to kind of emphasize that at this moment, that this program is not just about jazz and Creole and music performance, but it's about music education, and that was very important to me and Creole Caribbean Research Institute, that if we're going to be a research institute at the Dominica State College and promote educational enhancement, that one of our goals is to really work at that across really underrepresented areas of study, and I think music is one of them. And I was very happy to work with Dr. Olivache, who I have known for most of my life. We've also gone to school here, studied music together at different points, and we recognize the deficiencies for various reasons, including resources that we had as students of music at the time, or students in general, and wanted to do something that would really provide students with an opportunity to learn.
Dr. Esprit notes that the band has already incorporated some of the traditional Dominican music into its performance.
The group has also been doing their own education while they're here, and they've had opportunities to work with the flamboyant cultural group of Dubla, and where they learn Jingping and incorporate it into their music performance, and also with the cultural divisions officers, Rasmo Moses and Gregory Rabes gave a African drumming workshop yesterday as well. So far they've had quite a bit of work done.
Masquinada includes some of the top students from the jazz department in the School of Music at Western Michigan University. The band plays a mix of classical, Afro-Cuban and Brazilian songs, as well as some of the more contemporary compositions. Chairman of Jazz Studies at Western Michigan University and founder and director of Masquinada, Thomas Knifey, says the expertise of Dominica has been unforgettable.
We have a jazz program at Western Michigan University that has global reach. We travel for the U.S. State Department at times, both professionally and with our student groups. And early on in our association at the university, it seemed like this would be a dream destination where a lot of worlds could come together, where her world, her upbringing, and her career in the United States, plus the fact that this particular group emphasizes both Afro-Cuban, Caribbean-based music of Brazil, and we thought that the Creole would blend in beautifully with that. It seemed like the ideal group to bring down for this event. The students are having an amazing time. They're both enjoying the island in terms of the absolutely unparalleled natural beauty, and then of course we've had these experiences with your artists, the Jingping and the ballet, and basically every minute has been a wonderful learning and growing experience for all of us, and we're very grateful.
Meantime, according to CEO and Director of Tourism of the Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, the DDA recognizes that a large part of preparation for the main stage event has been the fringe events held across the island.
We're very excited about what's about to transpire this weekend and what actually has been transpiring from last Sunday. As many would know, the Dominica's Jazz and Creole is both a main stage event as well as a series of fringe events. And we've been happy to partner with our hospitality stakeholders, 5 of whom have partnered with us to provide fringe events, starting with Champs in Picard last Sunday, Alliance Française on Tuesday, Evergreen Hotel Wednesday, Anchorage Hotel on Thursday, Fort Young Hotel on Friday, and Riverstone Bar and Grill on Saturday. All leading up to the culmination of main stage at Fort Shirley in the Cabritz National Park on Sunday, May 24th.
Marketing Director of the DDA, Ezra Winston, says a new feature will be added this year.
It's an after party at the Prince Rupert Tavern, so we have Cornell will be Stars Combo, Cornell and C-Square will be performing. So it's an after party that's going to take place right at the foot of the Cabritz at the Prince Rupert Tavern. So as soon as the main stage is over, then you can just continue because as we know, Monday is a holiday. So there's no need to run back to Roseau for those of you living in Roseau. So, and we at DDA want to promote also staycation. So we want to tell people to diversify. The objective of the jazz is to let Dominicans and others discover other parts of Dominica. We know that we are always hosting most of our great events in Roseau. So it's an opportunity to take your family out, your friends, and enjoy the atmosphere, the cabarets. You look to your left, there's the sea. You look to your right, there's the mountains. So what else you can want? A perfect environment for jazz and Creole.
We now join GIS's Jarna Hector for a recap of the stories which made the headlines this week.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, the governments of Dominica and Venezuela are celebrating 10 years of the signing of the Petro-Caribbean Agreement in Dominica. To commemorate the occasion, PDV Caribbean Dominica Limited is hosting a series of activities throughout the upcoming weeks. The theme for the occasion is Unity is Strength. The Social Welfare Division consulted with faith-based organizations this week. The aim was to sensitize religious officials on the status of child abuse in Dominica and discuss their responsibilities as religious officials in child protection. The Child Abuse Prevention Unit says a unified front is required to eliminate the scourge of child abuse. Also this week, the first 20,000 of 60,000 Cavendish banana plantlets purchased from France in April are now entering the hardening phase. After 6 weeks of weaning, the plants will be hardened for another 6 weeks before final replanting on the holdings of selected farmers. 14 participants were recognized with certificates of completion following a phlebotomy training course this week. The 4-week training was designed to prepare participants for employment at hospitals, blood banks, and private clinics. The Coliho Village Council was presented with a $60,000 check this week by constituency representative Honorable Catherine Daniel. She assured that the Dominica Labour Party administration is committed to seeing the fulfillment of projects in communities like Coliho. Capuchin got its tourism reception center this week, a joint effort of the European Union and the government of Dominica. This center will serve as a hub for information about the area, as well as the main administrative center for the Capuchin Tourism Group. The over $300,000 facility will also be used as a base for dispatching tours to nearby attractions. These were some of the headline stories making the news this week. For details of each of these stories and others, visit our website or Facebook page. Let's get back to Tasia.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, travail qui continue bien formidable à ce chemin Magua en Bellevue. Mam parlement Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow visité le projet à jeudi semaine là.
Finalement, nous tapons un premier tranche là pour commencer un projet là. Ça c'est renovation, c'est pas renovation, renewal of the Bellevue Chopin Road. Chemin ça nous avons chemin Magua, c'est un main chemin qui a passé en village Bellevue. Bellevue, nous savons c'était une petite communauté, mais durant le passé année, parce que Bellevue a profité, il a grandi. Et bien, actuellement, c'est une première place pour le monde qui voulait rester jeune, professionnel. Et bien, quand nous voyons chemin dans de mauvaises conditions pour des 3 années. Et bien, quand par le plan, moi, monter en bas, l'eau, j'ai pressure pour manger chemin. J'ai mon stop moi, j'ai un docteur qui a fait contre chemin.
Ministre Darrow dit l'année financière là qu'a venu au bout, mais le gouvernement fait l'argent avec la pour projet là.
Comme nous savons, nous avons approché un financial year end. Et bien, c'est là, nous savons que les ressources, l'argent, pour venir. Mais Minister Finance, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, il a un politique pour détourner, so il a pressure que par rep, esprit par rep quoi, par rep neuf, pas de neuf comme moi, c'est pressure à nous qu'à sentir, so il fait ça, il pour faire l'argent. Faire l'argent available pour nous commencer le projet là. Donc, qu'on apprécie sur drive chemin, ok, ouais, que $70,000, $70,000 pas que faire ni half chemin. Mais ça nous a espéré que que chemin passe à wanger encore, il passe à patch. Chemin ça passe stage patching. So nous cal faire chemin all over again.
On a trouvé le ministère Telecoms Honorable Kelvin Darrow qui a fait parole que consumers supposés recevoir bon service pour l'argent qu'ils ont payé pour service Telecoms. Ministre Darrow dit bagay ça la discuté pendant meeting qui était chaîne et puis Hector en Sainte-Lucie semaine passée.
Si vous êtes un consumer et puis vous payer pour un bité ou pas qu'à taper bel service ou ça se bité pour faire fou plus ou ka dit plus tu me payer pour ça. So nous Hector pour garder toute bagaille ça là et pour parler APC service providers. So you ça upgrade ce infrastructure là pour bénéfice tous les consumers.
On a nouvelle département welfare channel workshop jeudi où là yo édité nèg l'école bagay ka concerné abusement enfants. Si le chef département pour empêcher abusement enfants, Jarna Luce, c'est nèg yo là taper information sans abusement enfants vraiment et puis manière pour deal et puis situation comme ça. Luce aussi fait parole qui yo ka établi un network étudiant hors différents l'école secondaire où là yo travaille et puis département là qui concerne abusement enfants. Madame Luce fait parole qui est bien nécessaire département là joindre et puis négocier l'école pour parler bayo contre abusement enfants. Et les abusements enfants c'est un gros problème en pays là, raison pour ces consultations salam qu'a chaîne étudiants l'école secondaire tout en pays là attendez consultation là. Et puis finalement, l'occasion multipurpose pack house qui facilite l'exportation de produits patates anglais au Dominique. Parole celle-là sur le directeur agriculture Ricky Brumand pendant consultation qui prend place, mettez attention à ces productions patates anglais.
Dexia Ministry ni un programme pour ça nous créer un multipurpose pack house. Bah là c'est Dominique qui était Dominique le check fin toute qualité manière. Avait pas comme ça nous ni c'est une manière concrète Dawe qui ni on cette qualité on cette standard pour vendre si marché l'autre pays marché Dominique aussi nous ni pour faire c'était Dominique manger meilleur manger aussi ça c'est ça nous a causé stakeholder là qui en consultation bon aujourd'hui nous dit sur Dexia qui parle contre parking house là avec comment il ça aider planter là yo acolti patate anglais yo pour faire certain il ka joindre marché la meilleure supermarché la meilleure.
Vous fait parole qui moun sa garder différents dawe patate anglais.
So Dominique ça garder patate anglais qui produit Dominique patate anglais produit l'autre pays avait dit avait voir compris ça nous qu'a fait meilleur ni meilleure qualité qui ça nous qu'a mené un pays là also nous couper ça nous qu'a mené à Dominique avec ça nous qu'a fait qui développer plus.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up, your daily tip.
Get in and fasten your seatbelt, okay?
Mom, why do I have to wear seatbelts? I do not want to.
James, when I ask you to fasten your seatbelt, please do as I say. It's for your own safety and protection, okay?
Yeah.
Protect yourself, protect the child. Always fasten your seatbelt. Crashes can happen at any time. It is better to be safe than sorry. Remember, seatbelts save lives. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
A sore throat can be the first sign of a cold, a side effect of a strained vocal cord, or an indication of something more serious like strep throat. Regardless of the cause, your immediate concern when soreness strikes is how to get relief fast. Eating marshmallows is considered one of the best home remedies to soothe your aching throat. Sap from the marshmallow plant has been used for hundreds of years, usually in tea form, to treat coughs, colds, and sore throats. While real marshmallow bears little relation to the puffy campfire treats that took its name, both seem to have sore throat fighting properties. The gelatin in marshmallows soothes your throat, making it easier to swallow. It's delicious and saves you money from buying expensive medications. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscast on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching. Do join us again next time for another edition of National Focus.
Grand Bay Village Council presents Fête Isidore 2015, a celebration of culture and achievement. Come be part of Dominica's grandest village feast from May 21st to the 25th. Fête Isidore in South City, Grand Bay. It's the Feast of St. Isidore 2015 in Grand Bay. See you there.